What's up, everyone? Welcome back to NFL. It's week 6, and this is your Draftkings NFL First Look lineup. Let's do this. All right, we are back for NFL Week 6, and as you know, I like to do a First Look lineup as early as possible while our feelings from week 5 are still fresh in the mind. And week 5 was crazy. It was super, super chalky, which is something to keep in mind going forward. I think that what's going to happen is in week 6, we'll feel more comfortable embracing the chalk because it worked last week. You know, the field just chases what happened last week. So before we get into the games themselves, let's take a quick look here at the game odds and some of the totals, just so we can get a sense of which games look sexy. And there are a couple of games that really popped this week, but one obviously superstar game that we'll get to here. But first game on the main slate, we've got the Bucs at the Steelers. That has a 43.5 point total. Bucs are massive road favorites, and we can go right back to Brady. I'm sure he's going to style with his pass catchers here. And we saw last week what can happen in a game with a quarterback that has a really elite running back. Sometimes the running back gets all the work. So we had sort of a floor game from Brady last week because of that. Next, we have the Bengals at the Saints, another 43.5 point total. Pretty low total there. Bengals pretty low, 1.5 point favorites. Nothing really stands out to me at first thought about a game like that. We got the Colts at home taking on the Jaguars, 42 point total. Again, low total game. Maybe can't touch anything on the Jaguars at this point. And, maybe Jonathan Taylor will be back, I guess. That's about it for that one. Patriots at the Browns. This game will hold some interest, as gross as the 42.5 point total is, because the Patriots may have lost Damian Snacks Harris for at least a few weeks, which elevates Ramondre Stevenson to almost must-play levels in any game, including this one. Scroll down. Jets at the Packers. Again, this one's a little surprising. 46.5 point total. I thought it'd be lower than that. Packers, significant home favorites. All right. Okay, interesting. Lazard, a couple pieces in this game. Nothing stands out about this one for me either, but we'll keep it in mind. Ravens are always an exciting offense to target. They are at the Giants in a 44 point game, so looks okay. Here we've got the Vikings at the Dolphins. Man, if Tua comes back, this game has some sneaky appeal. I like this game, even though it's only got a 45.5 point total. That could change if the Dolphins kind of get a real quarterback in place that can, potentially push this to a high scoring game. So I'm going to keep my my eye on that one. Here we got the 49ers at the Falcons. Falcons really, really bad run defense. Okay. Didn't Fournette just destroy these guys? Jeff Wilson, hello. This is a great spot for the 49ers offense, even though they're on the road traveling cross country, which I don't like. Rams at home against the Panthers, now coachless Panthers. Matt Rule fired. Probably helps the team. What helps the team even more is Baker Mayfield is hurt. And so somebody else might get to play, which cannot be worse than what Mayfield was doing. I kind of interested in the plus 11 on that game for the Panthers, but I'm not sure how much goodness will come. We really can't target. Normally 11 point home favorites. We want to target those running backs, but who are you going to target on the Rams? I don't know. Henderson, Akers, someone else. Here. All right. So here we go. These are the games I've been waiting for. And it's funny. They saved the best for the last two. Cardinals at Seattle. Cardinals are 3-point road favorites. This is in Seattle. This game carries a massive 51.5 point total. I love this game. Arizona, not that good. Let's face it. Kyler Murray, not sure what's going on with him, but Seattle produces high-scoring games in Seattle offense. Geno Smith is good. As crazy as this sounds, he actually is good, and I love that game. We're going to build around that one. The other game we're looking to build around this week is the Bills at the Chiefs. 53.5 point total, 2.5 points spread. I think this game has more chance of disappointing than the Cardinals-Seattle game, and it'll be much chalkier. So let's keep that in mind, especially on the Chiefs side. I mean, they're a very good team, but I think elite defenses can slow the Chiefs down. Their offensive line, not that good right now. So we got a couple games to build around. So let's get into the lineup build. And keep in mind that it is Monday, Tuesday. This is early week stuff. The injury news, like I went, when I go back and look at these videos at the end of the week or after the week, like if I went back and look at week 5, there are some players that didn't make it in because injuries happened. Khalil Shakir became sort of a really great play late in the week. Some injury situations get sort of clarified. Alvin Kamara wasn't supposed to play early in the week, and he's in. So that kind of changes things around a little bit. But we get a really, really good feel. And I have a good feel for this one. Although, again, there's a couple situations that we're monitoring that I want to talk about. All right, with that being said, there are 2 quarterbacks on this slate that really stand out to me. Really 3, but probably 2. So at the very, very top, it is Josh Allen, and he's got the game against KC. And I mean, this looks great, and Josh Allen can't be stopped and all of that. So I think Josh Allen is the most obvious quarterback of the week, just like last week. But again, I don't love chasing what happened last week, but obviously that was a great play, and Josh Allen is another really great play at the quarterback position. I'll just go through some of these others. Lamar Jackson, always a good play, can pop off at any time, GPP. Mahomes is on the worst side of this game with Buffalo, being that Buffalo has an elite defense. And so, I'd be a little less excited about Mahomes compared to Josh Allen. Josh Allen also has a lot more rushing upside compared to Mahomes. Kyler Murray, okay, yeah. I like it. I like any team facing Seattle. I like quarterbacks facing Seattle. The one negative I have about Kyler Murray is he just hasn't been producing very high scoring games so far this season. So, buyer beware. But I do like Kyler, and I think the ceiling game is definitely potential in the cards for him. Burrow is just okay. Brady's fine here, but nothing I want to pay up for. Stafford, no, can't play him. Rodgers really can't be used in DFS. Kirk Cousins, yeah, all right, a little bit of interest there, but not going to make this list. But the other quarterback that, as crazy as this sounds, excites me for the slate is Geno Smith. And look at what this kid's been doing. 24, 34, 22 over the last 3 weeks. This is one of the easier matchups they're going to get. They're at home. And here's the thing with Geno Smith. This has not been smoke and mirrors. He looked really, really good throwing the football. He's landing bombs to Lockett last week. He just looked like a real NFL quarterback. 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the season, averaging 21.2 fantasy points per game, which, by the way, that average, even when you include his 7-pointer at San Francisco, and it's understandable against San Francisco to score 7, but even when you include that, 21.2 fantasy points per game, which is close to 4x, 6, 12, 18, 24. I mean, he's sitting very, very close to 4x salary, just average score. So Geno Smith is in the mix this week, and I'm keeping him in mind. Technically, if we don't want to pay all the way up for Josh Allen, this is where I think we should pay down to. Let me just look if there's any other quarterbacks here that are popping. Mariota, no. Wilson, no. No to Jones. Pickett's, no. Nope. That's about it. All right. Let's move on to the running back position. And there are some extreme bargains / pops at the running back position this week as well. So I do want to get into that. But of course, at the top, Christian McCaffrey, no. Nick Chubb, no. And by the way, I told you guys last week, I gave you a warning about Nick Chubb, right? In all my videos, I said, this guy needs to score 3 touchdowns to keep you on track to win a tournament. Now, somebody, and one of you guys, got into my DMs and started ripping me when Chubb was having the good game, right? And I said, I think exactly what I told you was going to happen is literally coming true. I said, even with 2 touchdowns, even with 2, he needs 3 in order to make tournament winning value. At 8K, you need 8, 16, 24, 32 fantasy points to just hold pace with a 200-point lineup. So this guy rushed for over 134 yards, got 2 touchdowns, only put up 28.4 fantasy points. Now you're like, what do you mean only? That's a great score. That is great in a cash game, but he had to hit his ceiling of 2 touchdowns and crossing the 100-yard barrier to get here. I stand by the fade, and I'll stand by it again this week. We don't play Nick Chubb. Don't at me, though. Sick of it. By the way, if you think I'm wrong, don't at me, but hit up in the comment section below. If you, whatever you think, hey, Geek, your lineup sucks, your choices suck, or your choices are awesome, or you forgot this guy, or hey, I have an idea for a player, put that in the comment section below. Let me know who you like this week. All right, let's keep going, but no Chubb. Saquon Barkley at Baltimore, yeah, he's playable. Okay. Aaron Jones, yeah, okay. Dalvin doesn't pop, but all right. Leonard Fournette, sure. He's been coming off that monster game. Why not? Joe Mixon, okay. Yeah, Kamara here. So, a couple of interesting spots. I probably wouldn't touch Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Jeff Wilson Jr., the price is creeping up, but I think it's worth it. If you look at the workload, again, the 49ers are going to be massively favored in this spot. 23 points is about what we could probably expect as a ceiling from Jeff Wilson. But again, it's 6K. That does get us closer to that 4X that we need. So I'm interested in Jeff Wilson. He's definitely in the mix. But my first target for this week is the aforementioned Ramondre Stevenson. You don't want to forget about Ramondre. You don't want to forget about Dre. Because if Damian Harris is out, the Patriots are going to lean heavy on the run. That is how that team functions. That is how they operate. It's the same thing, by the way, and I just talked about Chubb. If Hunt was out, I would be probably interested in Chubb because now he's getting a full workload. Well, Ramondre is going to go from his usual 14 touches to a potential 25 touches in a game like this. Last week alone, and we talked about how great his situation was, he got 25 carries, another couple of receptions, and he can catch passes. So I don't like the fact that New England has the rookie quarterback in there, but he looked competent enough to keep the offense moving. Cleveland run defense is not elite, so I love me some Ramondre this week. Let's hope he doesn't become too much of a chalk piece. There are other spots that I really, really like. You take a look at, but another one is going to be Breece Hall. Now, Breece Hall is just a little bit, let's say, he's puffed up based on a big week last week. There were a lot of touchdowns scored, but he didn't take over the backfield for the Jets. Carter was definitely out there quite a bit, so I just want to keep that in mind. Like, it's not like this guy had it all to himself, but one running back. Where the hell is he? Oh, here we go. One running back. There we go. That is going to have a heavy dose of his own backfield in a game that I'm looking to target anyway is Kenneth Walker, the third. Rashad Penny broke the fibula. He's done for the season for Seattle. That leaves Kenny Walker. And again, they have a cast of other guys. There's DJ Dallas, the pass catching back. They have sort of an all-purpose back in Travis Homer. But Seattle is another team. It's just an exciting offense. There's a ton of points to go around in this game. 51.5 point total. This is a game I want to target running and all players from. So I'm loading up. He's massively underpriced at 5,400 for the role. I think we'll see Kenny Walker potentially all the way up in the mid 6K range within a week or two. So yeah, I'm excited to play Kenny Walker. And what's nice about this start is 3 kind of 6K or below players really leaves us a lot of flexibility to do some things. Now, for the purpose of this lineup, I'm just going to plug in essentially what is the cheapest defense. There's no cheap viable defense, unfortunately. Not viable. I mean, maybe Buffalo. I mean, I don't know. Not viable. New Orleans is against Cincinnati, maybe. So it'd be probably New Orleans here. But I'm just going to go with the cheapest viable for the purposes of this lineup. And we'll worry about paying up and finding really good defenses as the week goes on. Also, kind of, the Rams are bad on offense, and they get sacked a lot. So why not play the Panthers, even though they're not that good? And they're on the road. Like, they don't stand out to me, but it's a good matchup. So we've got 6,100 left. And I want to show you guys the tight end position before we get back to wide receivers. We're going to build wide receivers off of our quarterback. And again, so there's two ways to build this week. And I wanted to kind of show both of them. If I go with Geno, then you can pay up at tight end, get an Andrews in there, get a Kelsey in there, right? This savings allows for it. You can't really do that if you play Josh Allen. You don't have the luxury of paying up for a tight end. But with that being said, do we need to pay up a tight end this week? I don't know. As a matter of fact, I usually love to play Zach Ertz. He's just gets a ton of, again, cheat code, 10 more targets last week. No one plays him. So I really like that situation. One negative is he's more of a 10 to 15 point guy, not like a 15 to 20 point guy. It's kind of tough to get to hope for the 4X from him. But this is a game I want a piece of. Arizona, Seattle. Remember, let's just build around the most exciting game environments and good things will happen. So I'm going to plug in Zach Ertz. I'm going to take a little bit of an overview, though, of the tight end position for you guys. So, of course, Travis Kelce coming off 4 touchdowns on Monday night. Come on. This guy's ridiculous. Love him. Always love him. Mark Andrews also almost 20 fantasy points per game. Another big week, 22 points, 7 for 20, 28. Needs about 28 to make value. So be that what it will. Not in love with George Kittle here, or Tyler Higbee, definitely not. Pitts, no. Njoku, maybe. Freiermuth, no. Tanya, no. Evan Ingram, no to Conklin, no to Knox, no to Hurst. Brait, no. Irv Smith, yes. So if we're looking to save a little bit, we can go down to Irv. Getting targets, kind of being treated like a WR1. I see Bellinger moved up in price for no good reason. All right. Hunter Henry's been okay with Jonnu Smith on the shelf, but again, not somebody who's super exciting. And of course, we got Cade Otton. I can't even find him. Where's my boy Cade, who was basically our cheat code this past week? Here we go, 2,900. So if I really need to save, I honestly don't mind going all the way back to Cade Otton here. He got 7 targets, 6 receptions. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave him right here. I'll leave him right here. Saves me some money. But I do like Ertz, so let's keep that in mind. I kind of want Ertz, but if I need the savings, 2,900. Now, that leaves us a lot of spending room here. So we can get really studly with the rest of our lineup. Now, we had the big week from Tyler Lockett. We can go right back to it. As a matter of fact, that might be the better move here. Save a little bit of money and probably can get us up to some studliness in some other areas. Marquis Brown getting a ton of targets, 10 targets again last week, 21, 30. This guy's doing it. So I kind of want him in there. I'm going to try to get more pieces from this one game. But obviously, Cooper Kupp up top is always in play. Justin Jefferson, huge week this past week. Can he do it again? 13 targets 2 weeks in a row. This guy's killing it. 19 to 36. This guy's killing it. So kind of just want to use him if I can. Let's see. Mike Evans, sure, doesn't stand out. Pittman doesn't stand out. DK Metcalf could be the other guy with Geno, or we can go down to Tyler Lockett. But I'm going to leave in DK Metcalf. He's been great. I like I said, I don't mind Lockett either. Lockett saves us some money. So if we go with Lockett, really interesting lineup at this point because you've got Geno to Lockett. I feel like I'd rather have Metcalf, but you got Geno to Lockett, Justin Jefferson stud. You've got a piece from that Arizona game in Marquise Brown. Another piece here from Geno's side with Kenneth Walker. Now, I don't normally pair up a running back with their quarterback, especially a touchdowns and yardage running back like Kenny Walker. So if you're wondering why I would possibly leave him there, my main thought is at 5,400, he's more of a punt play than it's more of a salary saver. So I don't want to do that with Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow because Mixon needs to score 30 plus to justify ownership. Whereas Kenneth Walker at 5,400, a 22-point day, that's enough. And you get there if he just gets 100 yards and a touchdown, that pretty much gets him there. That doesn't necessarily destroy Geno Smith's upside. I think there's enough room in this game. Plus, I'm trying to build more of a high floor lineup here, so I'm cool with that. Now, the last spot, we've got $5,900 left, or we can kind of spend a little bit more and go down. I can also switch from Lockett to DK Metcalf and drop 47 down to 4,700. So we'll see if we love anybody up here in the flex. Breece Hall's hanging out. That's not bad. Devin Singletary, Adam Thielen is fine. Christian Kirk, hurt me last week. Raheem Mostert. Didn't talk about him, but had a pretty good week against the Jets last week. This is actually a worse rush defense in Minnesota. I think that's playable. I should be looking at flex. Let's get rid of some of those quarterbacks. Raheem Mostert, Deontay Johnson, Olave hurt. Dobbins, not my favorite week over week play. Jacoby Myers, right? We saw what he did last week, but I've got one for you guys. And this only works, if certain injuries come together. So this one might be the one that next week we change. But in sticking with the theme of the video, all right, I'm going with Eno Benjamin. And again, listen, it's early in the week. I'm assuming that James Conner is out. I'm assuming that Darrell Williams is out. I'm assuming the other guys are out. If Eno Benjamin is the starting running back in this game, I want a piece of Eno. So, as of the early week lineup, I'm plugging in Eno. Now, I've got 1,300 left. What does that allow me to do? It allows me to go from Tyler Lockett, who's also good. He's just fine, to DK Metcalf. And doesn't this insane correlative stack look beautiful? A Seattle, Arizona super stack. Geno, DK Metcalf, flip side, and Kenny Walker. Flip side, Marquis Brown, Eno Benjamin. Then we get Justin Jefferson, top wide receiver on the slate. We got Ramondre Stevenson, value running back on the slate. Cheapest defense on the slate in the Panthers. This is a beautiful lineup. Let's put that in. That is your DraftKings NFL Week 6 first look lineup. Remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Do it right now. I've got more videos coming out. Of course, the Showdown Breakdown on Wednesday, the FanDuel first look lineup as well. So we've got a lot of content coming out for you. The Showdown Breakdowns have been fire. We just took down 2 more top finishes on DraftKings this week in the Millie Maker for Monday Night Football. 2 more spots in the $1 million mix. There was a few of us that tied. Everybody won on FanDuel, although the tie was so big, you didn't make any money. But on DraftKings, amazing. So we're crushing it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and if you want to get signed up at DFS Army and you're not already there, make sure you go to dfsarmy.com, sign up as a VIP. NBA is around the corner. Use promo code Geek. You get 10% off. VIP covers all sports. And if you're in DFS Army, you're watching this, make sure that you've joined our Discord. That is where all of the magic is happening at all times. That's where we do the teaching. That's where we have our community. That's where we cheer each other on. So make sure you're in the Discord. There's a little button that says Discord on the DFS Army website. So make sure you click it and get into our Discord. That's going to do it for DraftKings NFL Week 6. Good luck this week, everyone.